I already made multiple videos about Lost earlier this year on my first time watching it, and I've already decided to rewatch it a second time recently. I just finished the finale a little while ago. I rewatched all of it with my mom. I wanted to see what she thought of it. She had a lot of different opinions than my own, but I'll just give my own 2 cents on how I feel revisiting it a second time. If there was ever a show that is worth rewatching just to see if you could pick out the little Easter eggs or pick out certain moments that stand out because of how many things kind of are just connected in the show and how many things do, like, you know, flash forward so much as far as as an example, like Jack and Kate and all of them finding like the 2 skeletons with the white and black stones in the very, very beginning of the series, and then them referencing that when they did the Jacob origin story, and you know, him and the Man in Black and where they came from. There's a lot of things I might have missed before in the other videos I was talking when I talked about this before, and that's why I was glad that I rewatched it, because I think I was processing too much when I binged it, but watched it a lot more just at a slower, steady pace this time, and was able to really sit on each episode a little bit longer, and I just, I forget that there was actually a good bit of resolution with the Charles Widmore. I forget that Ben just like shoots him straight up out of nowhere in cold blood, and how many things they kind of actually do resolve in the end. And I apologize. Of course, I've done videos about this already, so I apologize if I'm repeating things that I've already said in the other videos, but I will try to make the main points that I wanted to make outside of those first. On the second time watching it, there's definitely a lot of, it feels a little dated as far as how different television shows were presented in the 2000s on a network like ABC in particular. You watch an older show on HBO and the quality is pretty much it's pretty. I mean, Sopranos aired from 99 to 07, so there were certain shows that still have that same level of like cinematic storytelling that they do now. However, shows on ABC and CBS and any of these like kind of generic networks back in 2004, especially, TV was just way different as well. This is one of those shows that is the ultimate test of patience, and I wonder if back in the day I really can't help but think that having commercial breaks and having to wait for each episode to air must have added a lot to the experience of that. But it's a test of patience, because I honestly think like the majority of the series is leading up to the last 10 episodes or so. The last like 10 episodes of season 6 to me are some of the most incredible television I've seen, because of how much leads to it and how much shit just finally hits the fan, in those last bits. You can definitely, like, any criticisms people might have as far as like, certain plot developments or unlikable characters, certain actors that are just kind of, you can definitely tell which actors and characters people liked and they listen to them, because characters like Miles and Lupita are really wonderful and they don't get killed. It's great. They actually stick around the whole time, and they were good at keeping the likable characters around and killing the ones that people might have been annoyed by and whatever. It's not perfect. It's far from perfect, but it's definitely like all those things are completely justified. But because of how much the show is driven with like symbolism and being almost the most literal, non-literal type of show I've ever seen, it gets away with a lot of that to me, because it's all there's a lot of subtext in the story and the acting and the story and the dialogue. Like, it's not everything that you see in Lost is not really what they want you to see and hear. There's so much behind it if you want to like look for that in it. At least that's what I get from it. I don't take like the acting completely seriously, or I don't take like what I mean by that is like the just how tongue-in-cheek it can be, or how like I just kind of shrug that stuff off, like when there are like just those moments of whether it's overacting or just like little cheesy moments that are very television esque. You know, I don't mind that stuff at all. I just kind of look past it, and I look at it as just kind of adds to the fun of the show. One thing that Lost is just in a good way, it's just riddled with personality, and it's a lot of fun to watch it, and it's just it's literally like a roller coaster of a show to me, but like literally, like it feels like a theme park ride in a lot of ways, or it's just kind of like an exciting, fun show. That's like all I get from it, I think, and the one thing that I always will love about it. It's so rewatchable, and it definitely is worth watching a second time because of just how I felt like I was already pretty connected to the characters the first time I was watching it, and then the second time around I just got even more attached to them and felt a lot more for every bit of, like, I mean, Jesus, Jin and Sun's like arc and their whole story in general hits completely different when you know the entire story. That was definitely one of the better parts. Like one of my favorite parts of the rewatch was and not gonna lie, you know, the first time I watched it, I was definitely like watching while eating, or just like kind of half paying attention to it sometimes, because you can definitely listen to this show and not really miss anything, thankfully. But I don't think I appreciated it as much as like I wasn't 100% paying attention to it the first time as much as I was the second time, is all I'll say. And I still loved the first time I watched the show, and I still appreciated it. It was just a different experience. Because I had so much to burn through, I just kind of wanted to keep letting it ride and not like waste too much, not like not stop. I didn't want to stop because I was really wanting to get through it. That's all. So being able to kind of watch it at a slower pace, or appreciate it little by little this time around was a really wonderful change from an experience standpoint as well. This is definitely the kind of show that it either resonates with you or it doesn't. Either you really appreciate every minute like detail of what the storytellers and what the writers are trying to say, what they're all doing. You either really appreciate it for what it is and just kind of appreciate the style that it is, or you can look at it as it's one of those things. If you want to hate it, you definitely you could do that with anything, I guess. But with this show in particular, it lends itself to how easily people could shit on it. But I think that's being unfair to it, because you're kind of missing the point by doing that. You're missing the point of what the show is trying to say. And this is one of those shows only if you've actually watched all of it all the way through and have actually seen every bit of what it has to offer. I don't think you can say shit about it, because there's a lot to take away from this show and this story. You can I think about this show a lot more than others because of how much it makes me think, and how much it makes me just want to continue to find answers for meaning in my own life, and why it makes me want to find make some sort of sense of my existence as a human being. So yeah, I don't know whether you love it or hate it. It's definitely, television wouldn't be the same without it, and I'm so glad that Lost fills a particular like flavor of show that no other show would be able to achieve. That's what I appreciate about it, is like purely how original and unlike anything else, for better or worse, unlike anything else. You'll never be able to really put Lost in the same category or the same playing field as any other show, because it's just it's so in its own it's so good at doing its own thing, and I seriously appreciate Damon Lindelof and all the showrunners for doing that. Jack Bender and all these guys. Carlson Cuse, I forget the other guy's name. There's the other one of his co-writers. Whoever the showrunners are, I seriously appreciate the work that you did. And if you've seen Lost already and you have the desire to check it out again, I definitely recommend it. I could see myself maybe in 4 or 5 years watching this show again with someone who's never seen it. But I think I'm going to take a break now because I just watched it twice within, I don't know, 8 or 9 months, I think. So, yeah, I'm glad that I had the experience of watching it all with my mom as well, and just having that appreciation for these things with others. That's why I make these videos, and I'm always just wanting to, like, connect with other people on this stuff. So, yeah.